So this is week one of a new podcast I've been thinking of for a while, and I'm joined with a good friend for this run through. Next week it'll be somebody different, hopefully. Dom, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Dom. I enjoy many things: Star Wars, space communism, and many other things.
And this is hopefully going to be a weekly thing that I do. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this running for, because you know me and my track record for my channel. I don't really like posting. But, so, this week we're going to be talking about some, like, ghost hunting things, and, like, our stance on if they're true, our stance on, like, how BS it is, like, what we feel about it. So, Dom, do you believe in the paranormal?
I mean, I feel like if you don't, it's very difficult to have proof that there isn't at this point.
Whenever I look at paranormal stuff, like, whenever I was younger, I'm pretty sure whenever everybody was younger, like, we used to be terrified of the thought that there were ghosts and stuff, like, genuinely, I was pretty terrified when it came down to it. But, like, watching stuff on it nowadays and seeing so many, like, ghost hunting videos and shows on Discovery Plus and stuff, it's like, wow, I can't believe I actually believed in something that could be so BS. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like, we'll see all these articles and stuff saying, like, oh, this guy, like, is haunted. Like, his house, it's haunted, and there's a set of ghost hunters that went in there, and they got what they call sufficient evidence, and boom, the house is haunted. And, like, realistically, it couldn't be. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, it's like what I'm learning in my English class right now. Like, it's like a fake bias, you know? Like, you say, like, this business or something is haunted, and you show all this bad stuff that's been happening to the people. It's gonna, like, cause some sort of, like, hatred for the place, and people aren't really gonna want to go there, and it's gonna cause the business to start to lose more money.
Or in the off chance that people get intrigued that, hey, this is a haunted place, I'm gonna go check out it, and it's gonna be interesting.
Like, me personally, I want to believe that there's a possibility that there are ghosts out there. But, like, right now, where I stand, I think it's a bunch of baloney. Bologna, yes. Like,
Sir.
I have endeavored into this 24-season, like, ghost adventure show on Discovery Plus. They explore these abandoned places that have a dark history behind it and supposedly is haunted. And they did a place called, like, the Cecile Hotel. Don't at me on the name. I think that's the correct pronunciation. And, like, they're a firm believer in the fact that whenever you die, like, the object that you interacted with the most leads to it being an artifact, and that is what's keeping you here from, like, crossing over and, you know, resting peacefully. Like, me personally, like, these shows, like, even if something that, like, they show can't be explained how it, like, happened, me personally, I still believe that, like, in some way, shape, or form, they are causing it themselves. What's your input on this?
At the same point, like, I feel like most of it's fabricated for, you know, entertainment purposes.
I mean,
because if you look at it and you look at how people react on the show compared to how they actually would have reacted, it's more of a calm collection and then a random snap into reality. Like, ooh, there was this noise, like a random crack or something. But I feel like most of it's just, like, random fabrications.
Yeah.
Compared to people having actual realism. Not saying that it could exist, or would it?
I mean, realistically, like, these guys, they could be professional actors. That's a poor choice of words, but I feel like in some way, if they truly want to convince people that what they're putting on is true, whenever it actually isn't, that they're gonna put a whole, like, butt ton of effort into trying to make this, like, official. Like, like, the amount of articles that I've seen, so many people claim that they have all of this stuff happen to them, And, like, all of this stuff that sounds, like, so unreal. Like, one thing that I kind of believe in, which doesn't make sense because, you know, I kind of don't believe in ghosts, but I believe in Ouija boards. Which, if you believe in Ouija boards, you technically have to believe in the fact that ghosts are real. Like, I believe that truly, like, if ghosts are real and you mess around with a Ouija board, like, that is, you know, prime evidence. I don't know what I'm going for, but what is your stance on Ouija boards?
I mean, I feel like that could just as easily be fabricated, because you and your buds could just be scurrying around with one guy.
Yeah.
And then just like, ooh, who's moving?
Oops.
Ooh, spooky ghost.
Oh, spooky ghost. Emma, what are you doing back there?
Like, it can't be fabricated in a video game as hard, because it's literally being fabricated in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Phasmophobia. Like, if we just sit and we just, like, look at it from that perspective, then that's what we're going to get. A fabricated reality.
Me personally, I do like some of the like adaptations that like game companies will do on like ghost stuff. Like Phasmophobia, me personally, I enjoy the game. I hate it when I'm in VR. It is the scariest thing I'll ever come across. But me personally, I think it is pretty darn cool. Like, the fact that, like, it introduces you to a whole wide range of ghosts, like phantoms, yuris, mares, you name it. It's probably in the game. And the fact that you can communicate it, and with, like, a Ouija board, you can use, like, spirit boxes, EMF readers, you know, it's pretty cool. But, still, like, even if you're to use this stuff in real life, like, how are you to know that it's not fabricated in a way? And, like, the people, like, I'm a casual TikTok scroller, and I came across this channel where they're coming across, like, they're in, like, going in depth with, like, this website that has this set of, like, 10 tiers. It's all conspiracy theories, and supposedly before you can even reach the 10th conspiracy theory, you're gonna die, or something bad's gonna happen to you. And, by the way, that's going to be on next week's podcast, if I make it to there, to be honest. But, like, he also has, like, a ghost hunting part, and they use their phone as a spirit box. You know how, like, terrible it is to use your phone, because, honest to God, you can record anything on these types of apps, and you can morph it, and exactly. Like, there is... Like, if you're using, like, an official, like, spirit box or something, like, it's possible you can get something, but if you're using an app on your phone, that is something completely different. Something, like, terrible. Like, if you want to truly, like, get people to believe you, do not use your phone. Waste $200 and buy a spirit box and an EMF reader, and truly try to get it to the point where you want people to believe. Using your phone, not the right tactic.
Please.
Because, like, I mean, if you are in the standpoint of, like, you don't believe in these ghosts, you're going to think it's a waste of money. Me, personally, I'm going to spend some of my summer trying to figure out where, like, I stand. I'm going to be going to these places that me and a friend have set up, and we're going to check them out. But, who knows? Like, I have an article pulled up by BBC right now on my other monitor, and... reading through some of it whenever I'm talking, like, some of it sounds so BS. I don't know if this is like an actual official BBC website. I don't know if they're a .org or .com, to be honest. I could care less because BBC kind of sucks, but...
Well, I mean, some people would definitely disagree with you there.
Yeah, that's for a different day.
Depending on what industry we're talking about here.
Okay, PG-13, buddy. Like, a part in the article that I've seen so far... Like, a part in this article that I've seen so far is talking about a guy's belief in telepathy. Telepathy kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that, like, you need to believe in the paranormal. It's like, telepathy and the paranormal and stuff like Bigfoot and all of that, it's like you have to believe in it to actually think it's true. Like, if you're at a standpoint where you think it's not true, you're not going to believe in telepathy. You're just going to think it's a bunch of bullcrap. What is your stance? What do you think about telepathy?
Get down there.
I mean, I think that's the biggest bull thing that we've gone over tonight, though. Because if you just sit and you think, like, oh yeah, this person can, like, see into people's minds, or they can look into what they're thinking about, or... I feel like it's, most of it, just pure coincidence of what they're thinking about, and it just clicking. It's more a psychological thing than anything else.
Uh-huh.
Understanding the person and then figuring out what they're going to say or thinking about. And it takes a lot of skill to figure that out fast.
I mean, here's the part. Some paranormal experiences are easily explainable based on faulty activity in the brain. That, by far, is probably one of my favorite sentences. I mean, whenever you're going through an abandoned place, you're gonna think, oh, this place is terrifying. Oh, ghosts are... they're real. These things are scary. That then is gonna, therefore, like, make your brain think all these things, like, oh my god, I just heard something over to my left. Oh, something behind me? Definitely gonna chalk that up to a ghost. Like, your brain makes you hear what you want to hear. Reports of poltergeists, invisibly moving objects, aim to be consistent with damage to certain regions of the right hemisphere. Like, now they're getting in depth with saying, like, they're linking poltergeist activity to brain damage. Maybe I kind of took that sentence out of context, but still, like, your brain can make up so many things that don't actually happen, and the point of, like, you're extremely scared of something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I said, even, like, psychologically, we either create ways to, say, like, get out of a situation that we don't like, or just try to put ourselves out of that situation.
Yeah.
It fully just depends, though, on, like, how we do it.
Yeah.
And if we are more confident, I doubt we're going to see, oh, yeah, this place is haunted, and it's going to be more of a, oh, this place is really cool looking, I'm going to, like, get it out. And the random noises are just the creaks of the house, like, things that you would normally hear reasons for.
Yeah. One thing that I hate that I see a good few times mentioned in this article is them, like, calling them shadow people. Like, I get why you're saying it. I really do. But that is a terrible term. I hate when people call them shadow people. I'd rather them get scientific with it and say, oh, these poltergeists are haunting my house. I'm seeing poltergeists all over the place. Never in my life do I want to hear shadow people unless I want to say I believe, you know? Like, what is your stance? Do you hate the word shadow people?
I mean, seeing as most of the ghost stuff I grew up with was either, like, Ghostbusters, or, like, the classic, like, hey, like, ghosts are the villains and everything, not, like, dead people. I feel like we're just adapted to, like, poltergeists, or just the ghosts, or just any other simple term. Like, how we think zombies, not walkers, not, like, anything else. It's just, like, what we grew up thinking about.
You see,
especially with pop culture.
I absolutely loved Ghostbusters stuff and everything. Like, that was an absolute charm. I loved watching all of the Ghostbuster movies, and I loved the humor behind it. And watching them nowadays, like, sometimes watching old movies, it's kind of really bad to watch because it's really outdated. But I think Ghostbusters is among one of the movies that I can sit down and watch and have a good laugh out of. Alright.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. One thing, back to the whole, like, gaming thing we mentioned earlier on, like, back to Phasmophobia real quickly before we move on. I really like how they were, like, able to interpret, like, different versions of how these things would look if they actually exist. Like, how they actually, like, look like, you know, zombies, but like not actually zombies, they're ghosts. They have like a really like, say somebody got into a car crash and like they're missing an arm after that and they're really bloodied up, really bruised. Therefore they interpret that as the look for the ghost whenever, it pops up. Like we don't physically know how they died in the game, which I think would be a cool aspect is if they added like this, like an option where like you can find out how they died, and you can use that to your advantage to anger the ghost to get more evidence out of the ghost so you can prove it, But like back to the whole like appearance thing that like they get into a car crash, missing an arm, really bloody and bruised up, and it leads to the appearance of like the skull being bashed in, missing an eye, their arm isn't there. Are they a young ghost? Are they an old ghost? Are they in like middle age? The look difference in the age, no matter if they're alive or dead. Alright, moving on. I brought another friend along with us today. I'm not just joined with Dom. I'm also joined with a friend. His name is Terry. And Terry, please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Hi there.
So, Dom exactly can't join us in like all of our ghost games and stuff that we'll play, but me and Terry will do a nice good run through of Phasmophobia here and there, but that's not why you're here. I want to know your stance on the paranormal. What do you think? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's a bunch of baloney? What do you believe?
Well, I was just brought in here a few minutes ago, all of a sudden, but I've had some encounters in my life, especially when I was about, I believe it was 3 years old. I saw one down the hallway in front of my sister's room, but never saw him again. I named him Tom.
No.
Tom never showed up.
Tom never showed up. And I think it's not good that you name your stuff. It's like naming an animal. Like, you're gonna get attached to it. It might get attached to you if it learns its name. Anyways, saying that you encountered something whenever you were 3 years old, I think is really bold statement to say, to be honest. You're 3 years old and your brain is really susceptible to everything you hear. You wanna just...
I didn't hear it. I saw that man. He was higher than the door frame itself.
Explain what happened that day. The time it happened.
Let's see. I was with my babysitter, and I was just walking around like any 3-year-old, questioning the existence of myself. And then I look down the hallway. I see Tom standing there. Can't tell if he's looking in the room or if he's looking at me. He's just standing there. And then I look away, and then Tom's gone.
It's like,
never saw him again.
It's like one of your most like typical ghost experience you'd ever hear. I want your input on this one.
Yeah. See, here's like my standpoint of that. Most to about all like humans gain full consciousness when they're about 4. It isn't exactly decided when, which is why we get the random nonsense of like, oh, even on TikTok now there are people joking about how they like just randomly gained consciousness in a grocery store, for instance. Like, it's something just like we just snapped into existence almost is basically how it felt. So if he can remember back to like when he was 3, I'm kind of amazed.
Well, you see, I do remember that one scene back when I was 3, but after that I don't remember anything. That's the only memory I have when I was just a wee baby boy.
I'm not by far. I'm not saying we're professionals or anything. I think, honest to God, like if we were to still compare ourselves and like say they were real, we're gonna be big amateurs when it comes down to it. But I do dare say I have the balls to say that your encounter was chomped up to your little old 3-year-old memory, seeing what it wanted to see. And I do dare to say that I don't believe in ghosts. I am going to spend my summer having a lot of fun, doing some new things because I'm going to be graduating. I'm gonna go camping, in quotes. I'm gonna have a blast this summer, but I'm also gonna spend some of it trying to prove to myself and possibly others who don't believe that ghosts are potentially real. I mean, look at all this ghost hunting stuff. Back to what I referenced earlier. Ghost Adventures. Really good show. Even though I don't really believe in it, all the evidence that they claim they have, like for example, ghost orbs. They always, like, whenever they get a ghost orb, they're always like, oh, this can't be particles of dust. It can't be snow, obviously, because it's not snowing at the time of the recording. That this is some unexplained object flying across our screen. How are we supposed to know that it's not somebody off in the corner of the room causing some, like, reflection off of something that we can't see that is going to be like, oh my god, that's an actual ghost orb right there? Or, like, whenever it comes to people doing spirit box sessions, like, it takes the forward frequencies of a radio, reverses them backwards, which allows the supposed poltergeist to turn it around and make a sentence going forward. A sentence or words, whatever they prefer to do on the day that they're summoned there, Like, EMF readers, there's stuff in the ground, realistically, that can set it off easily. I'm pretty sure certain types of, like, technology could set something off, even the old ones. Old or new EMF readers, I think that those can be set off by anything, and honestly, it's kind of hilarious. Terry, what's your stance on the type of technology we use nowadays?
Well, I'd say it's very different from what it was back in the mid-1900s and late 1900s, but I feel like technology has gotten so complicated to the point where we rely on it too much, and it manipulates us and can trick us into believing things that we never thought we would believe in. For example, social media and the news have gotten so out of hand that if the news says one thing about one person, the whole population will believe that that thing is right without even reading it. Now, some people may read it, but you only rarely see those people fight back. And it's quite sad. I truly believe that we could have done better and gotten further in spatial technology if we have not been so stupid and idiotic as we are today.
That real quick, that is a decent point, I'm not gonna lie. You mentioned about the news, like all they have to do is just say something and we'll believe it. And honestly, I'm a firm backer-upper of that statement. I mean, the media says one thing, and then there are going to be people who are like, well, the news said it, so therefore it's true, therefore we need to panic. Whenever it comes, the media, it's going to morph our society. Alright, Tom, on to you.
It already has, technically.
Yeah, technically.
If you look at how we evolved from the 1900s to now, over time, TV and just social media, along with phones and just any other way that we can communicate and just tell each other, hey, this is what's going on, has kind of like kept us in the know. And which is why people now feel like they're neglecting something if they don't have their phone on them or for something else that they are just missing.
Yeah.
Because as we see with, like, even toddlers who have like an iPad that they yeet around and play at max volume in a very light standpoint, which no one likes. Full volume in a restaurant that everyone just hates, and the parents don't want to parent. We even see that technology has such a big influence on them as well because we allowed it. And the only form of media that we can get is through the paper, which not many people do anymore, and through social media. Because social media is a lot bigger, that's where we see most of our impacts, and that's also where a lot of people's like hatred towards themselves or others comes from because they see, hey, this group did this, or this person looks better than me. Why should I feel good about myself?
I agree in many ways as well. So now that I have your guys' opinion on base technology, whenever it comes to ghost hunting equipment like the spirit box, the EMF readers, thermal cameras, and all of that stuff, what is your stance on it, Dom?
Well, you know those toys that you get that would like tell you, hey, this is there, or something like that? I feel like that's just a lot more expensive versions of those, to be honest.
Me personally, my favorite thing that was ever released with like ghost something or like something scary behind it was that girl's toy that released a while ago that like if you flipped it around there was like a scary ass doll picture in it or whatever it was. Me personally, that was by far one of my favorite waves of toys released whenever I was younger. I loved looking at that thing.
Honest, I thought you were gonna bring up the headline about the first ever deaf children's doll.
I never even heard about that. You want to explain that one real quickly?
So basically, a toy company, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they make like a lot of dolls and stuff for like girls and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And they made the first ever deaf, mind you, deaf one. And it made a good couple of people jokingly guess, could they hear us before?
That honestly sounds pretty cool. Okay. So Terry, with your whole standpoint on your whole thing behind technology and what we should have actually used it for. With that being said, what is your opinion whenever it comes to EMF readers, spirit boxes, thermal cameras, and all of that stuff? Whenever it comes to ghost hunting. So I know you've seen a good few things of Ghost Hunters with me whenever I've played it over Discord, so what is your standpoint?
To be honest, like, I don't know if I truly believe in ghosts or not. It's a common misconception to believe in ghosts or whatnot. But honestly, the technology we have to detect ghosts, I mean, sure, it may work, but it's very hard to prove the existence of ghosts, because most of the time, ghosts just want to be left alone. And here we come with these stupid people in the 21st century saying, here, ghosts, come out, let me just talk to you. And they don't want to talk, they just want to live their life and react to them. But here we are with this brand technology called an EMF reader that gives away their location. Because looking for some, that's why they get angry.
With this whole Ghost Adventures show that I'm watching, they have like an EMF pump that gives out like electromagnetic oh my god, that was rough. Electromagnetic energy that they claim like feeds what ghosts need to manifest into a form or get enough energy to be able to spit something out and actually say something where we can hear them on like little digital recorders or stuff like that. They also go on to believe that that there is some type of energy in our body, like whenever we die, that gets let out, therefore giving these ghosts the feeling that they have. Like in the show, like they get touched by a ghost or whatever for a few seconds. They claim to feel this like electrostatic, like little staticky touch whenever they get touched somewhere. It's like all of the electromagnetic energy that they claim that we have after we die. You can feel a little bit of it touch your skin before you can't feel it anymore. It's like they claim that like these ghosts use their energy all up by touching us, and they need more, so they use these pumps to pump the energy to these spirits that need it in order for them to interact longer. And quick disclaimer, this is by no means me calling them out at all. I'm not that type of person. I'm just saying that I'm just speaking my standpoint. You guys have anything to add on to this topic? So
I'm sticking to more expensive children toy.
Even if you get a scientist behind, like, trying to, like, ghost hunt and they pull out some, like, actual evidence, like, what if they truly just whipped up some type of concoction to really make this thing work, you know? Like, what if they truly want to get in on the idea that, like, oh, ghosts aren't real, but let's feed to everybody's mind and say that they are real? Like, me personally, I truly think that, like, that's, like, mind-blowing at the fact that, like, if you get a scientist on this, they could be in on it as well, you know? It's kind of like saying, like, the government with, like, Area 51. Like, there could be aliens there, but they don't want us to know, so they're going to come up with some lies and feed it to us. You know, like, I just think it's kooky, which I'm not going to get too much into the whole alien thing, because that kind of goes in correlation with week 2 and 5 if I ever get there, but I don't know. Ghosts, are they real or are they fake? The world will never know. I truly want to believe. I think it'd be cool at the fact that there's a ghost in my house. Not at the same time, because, like, what if it's a real Haiti type ghost? Like, what if the ghost actually hates us and wants us out of its house? Like, clearly, if that's the case, it's been doing a poor job of trying to get us out of the house. Because, like, an occasional, like, I hear stuff fall in the basement whenever I go down there. Hear some, like, knocking at night. But realistically, it could be the wind outside, or it could be the fact that our basement's a little not on even ground. I'll say that. You guys ever... I know you explained you've seen and heard stuff, Terry, but Dom, have you yourself had any type of specific encounter or hear anything in your house?
Not as of really.
I mean, I know you...
encounter that I would have is my dogs just going ape because of something really stupid, but...
I was gonna say, I know dogs and... definitely cats. Cats for sure. They have heightened senses. Which honestly is like another thing. Like the fact that cats and dogs could sense this type of stuff, but us as humans can't. I think it'd be really cool. I mean, I guess in some ways, if it's proven, we could technically sense some presence. Because, like, we always have this looming feeling that, like, we're always being watched. And honestly, that probably is the case, maybe. But, like, cats and dogs, they know. That's why, like, whenever I'm laying down in bed and I'm watching Flurry or Dumo's head, like, move to certain spots in the room, or, like, nothing could really fit there, I'm thinking, like, oh boy, guys, what are you looking at, man? Don't be doing this type of stuff. Not at this late at night, you know? Like, I don't have a dog, so I have the luxury of not being able to hear them bark whenever something suspicious is going on. But not calling out any dog owners, because at the time I used to think it'd be pretty cool to have a dog, but look at me, I have 2 cats. One's fat and the other one's really tiny. Terry, do your animals ever act weird whenever you think you're hearing something, or whatever, you think that there's something around? Me personally, I think it's a little creepy to own a cat if this stuff is true, because, like, they act more, like, subtle and weirdly whenever this stuff goes down. Oh, they love us, but do they love the ghosts, though, Terry? Exactly. So, you know... I mean, right now, I'm still at a standpoint in my life where I think it's a 50-50 swing on Ghost, alright? Dom, your final verdict, are you 50-50? Do you believe? Do you not believe?
I'm 50-50 at it. As I said, if it gets proved to me, I'll believe it. If it doesn't get proved to me, I won't believe it. It's that easy, to be honest.
Terry, you 50-50? Do you believe? Do you not believe? Where do you stand? I mean, let's be honest though, if like you're a firm believer, you're a not believer, you're a 50-50, whenever we were younger, let's be honest, a lot of the ghost videos we'd see on YouTube were honestly some of the most terrifying videos to ever watch. I mean, like some of the videos I've seen nowadays, not gonna lie, they've kind of gotten to me and it's a little terrifying. But still, not solid enough evidence. Like, I remember this one specific video where this family was sitting and eating dinner, and the girl looks behind her, and she's screaming at something behind her in the kitchen. It's like all like dark and everything, and she runs over to her mother, and I think I remember reading the description. It said, like, girl sees her dead father, and the sight terrifies her, and, you know, something like that, which it's weird, but... 2 50-50s and a no. Hopefully that'll get proven different someday. It'd be really nice. But, well, this has been podcast number 1. Ghost. I can determine that they are false until proven true. I've been the host, Gavin. Dom and Terry, thank you for joining me today. Dom, I might have you back next week on the next run through with conspiracies. Might have somebody else new. Don't know yet. Figure that out this coming week. Next week is going to be a little bit more chaotic because I have another big test going on in school. But other than that, I'll see you guys all next week. Bye. See ya, guys.